It's no secret that one of the major contributors to global climate change, of course, is the burning of fossil fuels. It's also no secret that automobiles and transportation are the largest segment when it comes to what contributes to the burning of fossil fuels. So the automobile industry knows it's got a problem, and to try and fix the problem, they're moving towards new technologies. One of the greatest technological advances, of course, is in pure electric vehicles. That is, vehicles that run on no gasoline whatsoever, but run on an electric charge. And in that category, leading the pack and the industry right now is the 2012 all-electric Nissan Leaf. So inside the driver's cabin and cockpit, the Nissan Leaf, you know, in some respects, it's got a little bit of a funky design to it. You see more of a LED digital display, but you know, it's not as funky as you might think. Some interesting things that you will see on the Nissan Leaf that are different than, say, in a regular gasoline engine. You've got an eco meter up here that sort of gauges how efficiently you're driving. Instead of a fuel cell gauge, it's a electrical charge gauge, whether you get to. Right now it says I've got 176 kilometers until I'm empty, which is pretty good range considering that they talk about Nissan saying you can get 160 kilometers. But again, range depends on a lot of factors: driving conditions, heat, humidity, whether you're using climate, air conditioning and things like that. A funky thing here is the way the transmission works. It's not your typical gear shift, but it's just that little button that you would move it to the side to get into reverse, or you move it to down to get into drive or neutral or park. It's kind of a funky thing, but overall, nice GPS system, very functional. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles you'd expect in a regular car, but again, it's electric. You know, one of the surprising things about driving this Nissan Leaf is really how normal it feels to drive. You know, even though it's an electric vehicle, and an electric vehicle gets the maximum torque at 0 RPM, it's not like something you're going to feel where it's been not adjusted properly. You get a massive rush of torque with every time you press on the accelerator, but it's normal. It feels and handles like just about any car would or should, which I guess if you're looking to make the right eco choice but not give up driving performance or the feel of being in a car, this is probably a good thing. So if you don't have a fuel tank, how do you get this thing to charge up? Well, it's very simple. Right on the front here, you pop it open, and here are these sort of electric outlets that plug in to a very basic, simple system that they have here. It's plugged into your wall socket. It works on a 110 or preferably a 220, but you simply open up the charging system, plug it in, and that's all it takes. Now, with the 110, one of the drawbacks of the Nissan Leaf right now is the length of time to charge up. On a 110 outlet, you're looking at upwards of 17 hours from being empty to fully charged. Most people recommend a 220 outlet, which you would have to get through an electrician, and you set it up in your garage, and you're talking overnight charges. However, the real advancement in technology is going to come with this third outlet here, which is sort of phase 3. Now, when the technology becomes more widely available, this system here will talk about fully charging the Leaf in about 30 minutes. When that happens and it's more widespread, that's when we'll really see this thing take off. So I'm often asked, with electric vehicles, zero emissions, whether that actually means it does reduce your impact as an automobile driver with respect to contributing to climate change. The answer, of course, is yes, but specifically, it depends upon when you use your charging and what part of the country or the continent you live on. The reason being, in provinces, say like Alberta, where they use a lot of coal still as their main source of electricity, you're still going to see a reduction in your carbon footprint by using the Leaf, but it's limited to maybe 25%. In a province such as Quebec, where they're getting almost all of their electricity from hydroelectric power, you're going to see a reduction in your carbon footprint by using an electric vehicle by about 99%. I live in Ontario, and if I use smart metering and I charge overnight, the coal plants we have here are only used during peak periods during the day. So if I charge at night, I'm going to see my electricity coming from nuclear or hydroelectric or renewables such as wind. So bottom line, the answer is yes. On average, you're looking at about an 80% reduction in terms of your carbon footprint by using an electric vehicle versus a standard combustion engine. So I guess if you're going to be an electric vehicle, you can't just focus on being sustainable in the engine. You got to think about the interior as well. These cloth seats are pretty nice and comfortable, but you know, the surprising news is these are actually made of recycled plastic bottles. So it's eco through and through, both interior and for comfort. So let's talk numbers. What about price? Is this actually cost saving or more of an investment in the environment? Well, the Nissan Leaf is either, depending on the trim model, either 38 or 39,000. Basically, you know, call it 40 grand. But a lot of the savings comes in actually in charging or fueling up the car. Nissan estimates that it costs about 1.5 cents per kilometer driven in terms of electrical fees to power up the Nissan Leaf. Now you compare that to, say, gasoline, which here right now in Ontario is about $1.30 a liter. That breaks down to about 8 or 9 cents. If you take a car, a typical comparable vehicle, like the Nissan Versa, for example, or a Ford Focus, you might get an average of about 8 liters per 100 kilometers combined. Well, you're talking, breaking it down to huge savings. We're talking perhaps $1,700, $1,800 a year in fuel savings alone if you drive 20,000 kilometers. Multiply that over 3 or 4 years, you've got some big savings, and that's by doing a smart and eco-friendly thing as well. The 2012 Nissan Leaf is an amazing piece of technology. The electric vehicle technology we've seen with this car, and really the first generation of this car, is amazing. Is this a family car that could work? Considering most families have a daily commute that falls within this range, I'd say sure. If you're a 2-car family, then absolutely make this the second car as a daily commuting car. Even if you're a 1-car family, and you might see that you would need a range greater than what this can offer a few times a year, get it and rent a car. I think the benefits of having a car such as the Nissan Leaf is really important because truthfully, look, we all have a role to play when it comes to solving climate change and helping guys like this. I think, as the commercial says, we gotta hug these guys and remember that we all have our own roles to play in solving the issues, dealing with climate change, and if driving a smart car like the Leaf is one of the answers, I think it's a decision we should all consider making. Till next time, I'm Eric Novak with Polar Bear here. I'll see you again.